Welcome to Lore Reforged. From the shattered isle, where betrayal drowned a kingdom in blood, emerges a warrior bound by mask and vengeance. This is Juggernaut. Let the story begin. In a world ruled by chaos and war, where blades clash and kingdoms fall, there exists a silent warrior, masked and nameless, feared not for his cruelty, but for his unshakable purpose. His is not a tale of glory, nor vengeance, but of discipline sharpened to the edge of madness. They call him Juggernaut, a title echoing through the centuries like a ghost. No one remembers his face, no one knows his origin. All that remains is the rhythm of steel and the whisper of ancient rites, carried on the wind like the prayer of a forgotten god. He does not speak, he does not falter. His presence is a promise that when he draws his blade, the world will obey. For Juggernaut is not a man, he is the blade itself. Before the mask, before the sword, before the name Juggernaut echoed across the bloodied battlefields of the lands, there was only a boy, Yurnero, born into the ancient and honorable Isle of Masks. His people were warriors, mystics, and craftspeople, bound by a sacred code older than any empire. Theirs was a society where every movement was ritual, every duel a dance, and every breath a meditation on death and honor. From a young age, Yurnero stood apart, not for strength or skill, but for something deeper. He asked questions when others obeyed. He trained when others slept. He sought the essence of the blade, not just its edge. Among the elders he was both admired and feared, a prodigy with the heart of a storm. But peace does not last on sacred soil. Political strife festered within the island's core. Ambitious leaders, hungry for power, desecrated ancient traditions in pursuit of influence and control. Whispers of rebellion turned to shouts, ancient codes were ignored, and soon the Isle of Masks turned on itself. Brother fought brother, and blood stained the temples once kept pristine by silence. Yurnero, barely more than a young warrior, pleaded with the High Blades to stop the descent into civil war. His warnings were dismissed. When the schism finally erupted into full-blown violence, he stood powerless, his voice buried beneath clashing steel and broken oaths. And then, the island was gone. An arcane punishment, the wrath of divine spirits or ancient magic, consumed the Isle of Masks in a cataclysm few witnessed and none could stop. In a single night, Yurnero lost everything: his home, his people, his name. But he survived. Why he was spared no one knows. Some say he was chosen. Others whisper he was cursed. Whatever the truth, Yurnero emerged from the ashes, not as a man, but as something reborn. He forged a mask, not to hide, but to honor. He took a new name, Juggernaut, not for pride, but for duty. His blade became the voice of a forgotten people, and his path, one of silent redemption. Now he speaks little, but his presence says enough. Every slash of his blade is a requiem, every duel a ceremony. The road of the exiled is long, but for Juggernaut, it was endless. Cast adrift in a world that did not remember his people, Yurnero wandered across shattered kingdoms and forgotten ruins, always silent, always watching. But silence, though sacred, could not drown the roar within him. Haunted by the destruction of his homeland, his dreams twisted into visions, burning skies, drowning temples, masks shattering under tides of flame. He questioned his survival. Was he truly chosen, or merely spared to suffer? This doubt became his greatest adversary, not a monster or a tyrant, but the creeping erosion of purpose. In distant lands, he witnessed cruelty dressed as order, tyrants ruling through fear, warlords building empires atop the bones of the weak. His blade, once a symbol of honor, began to itch for blood. And so, the warrior made a choice: to act, not in vengeance, but in balance. His first strike was against a warlord who enslaved 1,000 for sport. Juggernaut appeared as a ghost beneath moonlight, and by dawn, not a single scream remained. From there, he moved like a shadow across the world, unseen but unforgettable. He did not seek glory. He offered none mercy. Each kill was deliberate, each act a meditation on justice. But with each battle, the line between discipline and wrath blurred. The more evil he struck down, the more rage clawed at his spirit. He felt it in his blade, a whisper of something dark. His sword, crafted with ceremonial purity, began to pulse with energy not entirely his own. The ancient spirits of his isle had followed him, and they watched, judged. Some offered power, others demanded control. One night, deep within a forgotten shrine,
Juggernaut walks the battlefield not as a man, but as a living echo of a lost civilization. While others fight for gold, power, or vengeance, he fights for something far older: balance. In the chaos of a world ruled by arrogance, madness, and gods in mortal skin, Yurnero is a blade of discipline, honed by solitude and silence. To his allies, he is an enigma. He speaks little, reveals less, and disappears between battles like wind through trees. But when war breaks, he is the first to step forward, mask gleaming, sword raised, resolve unshaken. He doesn't lead with speeches. He leads with precision, with action, with death that arrives before a scream. To his enemies, he is a phantom, a flash of steel, a force that cannot be reasoned with, bribed, or intimidated. Armies have crumbled underestimating the silent swordsman. They speak his name in hushed tones, some with respect, others with fear, all with certainty. If Juggernaut chooses to face you, you will bleed. Yet Yurnero does not seek to rule or conquer. His presence in the War of the Ancients is not for personal gain, but for cosmic necessity. He watches the growing imbalance, the rot behind the masks of Radiant and Dire. He knows the price of letting chaos win. He has seen entire cultures vanish into ash. Where others see a never-ending conflict, Juggernaut sees a test, not of strength, but of discipline. Not of who wins, but of who remains true. He is a silent reminder that war is not just a contest of might, but of will, that power without restraint is ruin. And in every duel, every swing, every step forward, Juggernaut carves a warning into the battlefield. The world forgets the code at its own peril, and he remembers it with every cut.
The mask is not just a symbol. Yurnero never removes his mask, not in battle, not in rest, not even in death. Some say it is a vow to his fallen homeland, a symbol of mourning. Others whisper that the mask is his prison, that behind it there is no longer a man but a force that must never be seen. Some even believe the mask was forged by a forgotten god, sealing something ancient within. The sword remembers. Juggernaut's blade is older than Yurnero himself. Its edge is flawless, but its surface bears runes that change between battles, as if the sword is learning with each kill. There are scrolls hidden deep in Wailing Mountains that suggest the blade is one of 7 created to cut through fate itself. The island may still exist. Though Isle of Masks was believed destroyed in fire and sea, some sailors speak of an island shrouded in mist that no map dares mark. They claim masked warriors still walk its beaches, silent, ghost-like, training endlessly for a war the world forgot. Could Juggernaut be their scout, or their exile? He's not alone. In ancient texts buried beneath slum, there are stories of the 7 veiled blades, warriors who each wore masks of power and walked paths of silence. Juggernaut's techniques match one of them precisely. The existence of the other 6 remains unknown, for now. He might be cursed. Why does Juggernaut never age? Why does he never rest? There's a theory among arcane scholars that Yurnero but a curse, that in surviving the destruction of his homeland, he became a vessel for its memory. Until he finds redemption or restores the balance that was broken,
He cannot die, nor can he ever truly live. The Omni/Slash mystery. His ultimate ability, Omni/Slash, doesn't obey normal physics. Scholars of the Fold believe Juggernaut momentarily steps outside of time, striking not as a man, but as pure intent. That kind of power is divine, and divinity always comes with a cost. He is not just a warrior, he is a living legend carved from silence and steel. A ghost haunting the memories of a lost homeland. But the question remains, will Yurnero find peace, or is he destined to be the eternal blade that never rests? In the shadows of the Forgotten Isle, something watches, and soon the world will learn whether the legend of Juggernaut is a curse or salvation. What will you choose to believe?
If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel. New lore is waiting for you.